expert, and we are live. So I'm trying to do things a little bit differently right now. I usually do these lives on the first Friday of every month, but I want to try something new out. So I'm hoping to start doing these on Thursday, getting it recorded, and then instead of the live being an hour and a half, 2 hours or something crazy like that, once we get done with this live, I'm going to download it, and then I am going to edit it out and start cutting it a little bit short. So instead of an hour and a half, 2 hour video, it'll be 45 minutes of just straight questions. That way I'm not wasting anybody's time and you guys are getting the most information out of all the questions that we go over. So we'll see how this goes. Obviously, I'll see the feedback and things like that. See if you all are liking it, me doing that way. And we'll go from there. If we want to go back to the normal style of things, of just doing it on Friday, that's what we'll do. But for right now, I want to try out doing it on a Thursday, uploading it, editing out all the awkward moments where it's just me sitting here talking to myself. That way, like I said, we have a solid, 45 minutes to an hour of just back-to-back questions. Hopefully, it'll get all your questions answered. Hopefully you all can hear me right now. I see there's a couple people on here. I don't know your name, so you're remained anonymous and things like that. So if you should have any questions, anything about the Charlotte area, about real estate, whatever the case is, just drop me a comment down below. I'd love to answer it. And until then, what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go through some of the comments that I got on some of my videos. And we're just going to answer kind of those questions together. I love doing these lives. I love connecting with all of you. And not everybody right now is moving to Charlotte. They just want more information and things. So you might be 6 months, a year, 2 years out, whatever the case is. This just gives us a way to connect, and you can reach out, without thinking you're bothering me or whatever the case is, which a ton of people reach out and say, hey, I don't want to bother you or anything like that. But so this is an awesome way to connect, and you guys are always free to reach out to me. Call, text, or email me, and we can talk, talk in person, whatever the case is. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into some of these questions that we have here. Let me see. So Mr. Weepa04 in my best zip codes to live in video said, you say you specialize in people who are relocating to Charlotte. Is that only for people looking to buy homes or families that are looking to rent as well? So yes, it's only for people that are looking to buy a home and or sell a home. Reason being, I know the rental market as far as like rates and things like that, but I don't specialize in the rental market. I specialize in helping people relocate to the area and then, buying homes. So unfortunately, I don't work with rentals, and Charlotte is not they are rental friendly to the person that's renting, but they're not realtor rental friendly. So unfortunately, I can't spend a ton of my time working with rentals because I have other people that I need to help, and, it's not that high on my priority list. Although I will tell you, if you are planning on renting or something like that, I am available for questions. If you have questions about certain areas, anything you can possibly think of, I will do my best to answer it for you and try to guide you in the right direction. So even though I don't work with rentals personally, you can send me an email with a couple questions. We can hop on a phone call. I can answer any questions that you might have. I'd love to give you my input on certain things, certain areas. If you're an investor or something like that, you're looking to find out about rents, I can recommend you some websites, some good apps to use to figure out what rental rates are and things like that. But I personally do not work with rentals. So we'll go from there. I possibly might be able to refer you somebody that does. But put that in an email to me and I'll try to help you out as best as possible. Tracy King actually commented on one of my videos, and she said the houses are getting smaller and built cheaper, which is an interesting comment. It's one of those things, and I'll be honest with you, before I got into real estate, I probably said that too. The houses they make now are, they're garbage. They're nothing like they were, 20, 40, 50 years ago, until I hung out with a builder, spoke to a builder, and they gave me the insights of the materials they use, why they use them, what is the standard code for building houses, etc., etc. Um, and once that conversation gets going, once you talk to somebody that builds houses from the ground up, you definitely have a different perspective on these houses. So it's an interesting comment, but it's a different viewpoint as well. I would say there's a reason why we build houses the way we do now, and it's a lot more advancements. Even though personally I love older homes, I love the houses built in the 60s, 70s, 80s, like the brick style houses, things like that. But nothing at all wrong with the quality of new construction builds. I'm telling you, some of these builders, the materials they use and how the homes are built, why they are being built, how efficient they are in certain aspects of the home. I mean, it's simply amazing. My Life 2022, which one is good, Harrisburg or Concord? They are both good. To be honest with you, Harrisburg is much smaller than Concord. Concord has a very big rural area, and then they have a more congested area. So it depends on what you're looking for. However, depending on what price range you're looking at, Harrisburg has gone up in price tremendously. So it's tough to find houses in Harrisburg under 450, I would probably even say, kind of depending on where you are. But if you look in Concord, you can definitely find stuff under 450, under 400, depending on the location and things like that. But they're both nice areas. Harrisburg is more well-known. It's smaller. It's tight-knit. A lot of families go there. A lot of good schools in that area. And 5 years ago, you could have bought a nice house in Harrisburg for 250, 300. Now, like I said, finding something under 450 is an extremely tough task. But it's a cool area. It's growing like crazy. But like I said, Harrisburg, you're going to need to be 450 plus. Concord, you can easily find something under 450, depending on what you're looking for as far as, bedroom square footage and things like that. So I hope that answers your question on that one. I got another question over here in regards to one of my the home buyers are panicking video. I made this when the interest rates made that big jump, and WAF LLC said, I'm in panic mode at the moment. I was pre-approved for a custom build home at a rate of 2.7 in July with February 15th closing. Closing has been moved to April 15th, right? And the rate right now is 3.7. I have so much to worry about. So his rate has gone up 1% since he locked the contract in. So I'm gonna do you a very big favor right now if you're looking for new construction. This is something that literally any buyer I've ever spoken to, they do not know about this. So this is something huge that you need to think about in this market in regards to interest rate. When you buy a new construction home, when you sign that contract, you cannot lock your current interest rate in. So if you're pre-approved at a 3.0 interest rate right now, you cannot lock that in with a new construction home. You're able to lock in your interest rate 30 to 60 days before closing. So if you get a new construction home right now and it's not going to be completed for another 8 months, even though your interest rate right now is a 3.0, if interest rates jump to a 4.5 in those 8 months, that is going to be your interest rate that you're actually going to be able to lock in. So this is something that you really need to consider when doing new construction. And no buyer has ever known about this when I explain that to them, and I make sure I go over this point very hard, because if you're uncertain about interest rates, if your debt to income ratio is not good enough to where if the interest rates go up, you can still afford an extra couple $100 a month, this is something that you very much need to look into and take into consideration. Luckily for this person that left this comment, 3.7 is still low and their house is going to be done soon. But obviously a 2.7 interest rate versus a 3.7 interest rate is a big jump depending on price point, and can be hundreds and hundreds of dollars extra a month added on. So it's unfortunate. I have a couple people right now, new construction, we're set to close April, May, June. and the interest rates were got up. Luckily, they are in a good position to obviously they're going to be paying more monthly, but it doesn't affect them to the point where they're not able to get that new construction home anymore, which is definitely good. Like I said, I've never spoken with a buyer that actually knew about this. Another comment from DFL. Hey, bro, do you do real estate in South and North Carolina as well? Yes, I'm licensed in North Carolina and South Carolina. However, in regards to South Carolina, I do not go really far from Charlotte. Basically, the main areas that I cover in South Carolina is going to be Rock Hill, Fort Mill, Indian Land, Antigua Cay, within that vicinity. If it's an hour or something away from Charlotte, unfortunately, I don't cover it because I don't know those markets too well. But I do know other agents that do. So if you want to be in Columbia, South Carolina, Florence, South Carolina, Charleston, Somerville, something like that, feel free to reach out to me, call, text, email, and I can get you connected with an agent that I do know out there. But for me personally, the only areas that I do cover: Fort Mill, Rock Hill, Antigua Cay, and Indian Land. And if it's really close, close to the North Carolina border. Okay, so My Life 2022, where do you rank Charlotte housing market compared to other states, especially Texas? Do you think housing market is same in both states and appraisal will be same for coming 5 years? So to be honest with you, it's very tough to compare Charlotte versus Texas because I don't know exactly what is, happening in Texas. All I know is like the really hot markets like Austin, for example. Home prices over there have gone up 50% in the last 2 years. And I've actually helped a couple people from Austin move to Charlotte because they just said Austin's getting so expensive that they can't even afford to live there anymore. So comparing them, it's just different. If you live near Texas right now, you're most likely going to be moving to Texas. If you're on the East Coast, you'll probably want to stay in the East Coast and things like that. But as far as Charlotte in the next 5 years plus, we are in an amazing position, to be in. I really don't see too much slowdown happening with the amount of people that we have coming here, the amount of jobs that we have available here, the amount of young professionals that we have available here. And it's the same thing with places like Austin, Texas. They're young, vibrant towns, and things like that. So I don't see anything slowing down. But my friend, it's very tough for me to compare those two areas just because I'm not so dialed in Texas like I am here in Charlotte. But all in all, depending on where in Texas you're talking about, if you stay close to the major cities over there, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, I think you'll be in a good position now and in the next 5-10 years. We're just, a lot of those places are rapidly growing, especially with a lot of the people from the West Coast, even up north, the high income states and things like that. They're looking for more space, cheaper taxes, cheaper housing, more bang for your buck. They're not going to stop moving to places like North Carolina, like Texas, and things like that. Arlen, Sasha, are houses being built that don't have associations or communities? Yes, they are, but to be honest with you, they are very few and in between. Most of the new construction houses will have a homeowners association attached to it. There's a couple builders and things like that don't. But I would honestly say 90+% of the houses that are being built right now will have a homeowners association, unless it's like a very big lot or something like that. But even then, the people in the community will make a homeowners association just to make sure that everything is getting taken care of in that community. Mike, bro, Sasha, please tell me houses are going to go down because of high rates right now. Mike, unfortunately, my friend, I do not see that happening. Right now, I don't see home prices going down. The rates right now are high compared to what they have been in the last 2 years. But when you look at it from the last 4 or 5 years, when interest rates were much higher than 3.75, they are still low. We've just been spoiled in the last 2 years. So right now, I do not see prices going down. Inventory for sure is not going up. I just had one of my past clients refer me to their cousin that's moving from New Jersey and they're actually looking in South Carolina, Rock Hill, Fort Mill, and Indian Land. Based off their criteria, everything I typed in all of those areas in between the price range they were looking for, there was 12 homes available that match what they were looking for in those 3 different cities. 12, which is insane to think about. So inventory is not going up at all, and these interest rates are not really scaring people away. So it's just interesting. It's interesting. Interest rates are going to need to go up to like the mid 4s for people to start pulling back. And then even at that point, what are the sellers going to do? The sellers are going to say, hey, why the hell am I going to put my house on the market? Right now, I have a house. My interest rate is low. Why am I going to put my house on the market right now? Sell it. Granted, I do have equity, and then buy a new house that is hard to find right now because inventory is low, and then have a higher interest rate and or mortgage payment. So it's very tough. Right now, I do not see the home prices going down. Something needs to happen. I don't know what can happen for them to go down. But right now, I just do not see it slowing down. We might be in something that we've never, ever before seen in a real estate market, which is like a hyper market where we have the opposite effect. People think prices are going to go down, but they're going to keep going up until they get to a certain point. They might still go up another 10, 15, 20% this year, and that might get completely out of hand, and then they might drop back down. Or honestly, we might just keep until demand is met with the housing, we might just keep going up in price like crazy amounts for the next 1 to 2 to 3 years, which I hope does not happen. I'm ready for a neutral market. I'm ready for a normalized market because I'm on full go at all times. I'm ready for it to slow down, just so I can enjoy being in the market and helping my buyers instead of having to rush and do everything. So I'm ready for it to neutralize. Unfortunately, I just don't see it happening right now, my friend. Yeah, I hope, I really do hope it makes sense. Right now it's tough. Sometimes I meet with buyers for the first time or whatever the case is, and we go look at 1 to 2 homes, the first day or the first weekend that they're here. And sometimes it's the first home, second home, or third home that is the winner, is like a house that I think is kind of perfect for them. And I have to tell them and say, hey, obviously, how the market moves, things are moving quick. I will be honest with you. I think this is a very good opportunity for you, but it's the first house that we saw. So when it's like the first house you look at, you're like, hold on, if this is the first house I looked at, then there must be a lot more out there like that. So it puts me in a tough position because I'm not a pushy person at all. I'm not salesy at all. I'm just a normal human being, and I like working with people, and I tell you what you need to hear. That way my conscience and stuff is clear if somebody doesn't end up moving forward based off the information that I provide. So it just puts me in a tough situation in those instances, when we see a house and I think it's a really good opportunity, and based off my experience might not have that opportunity in the future. It's hard for me to kind of give that nudge. So if we get into a neutral market, it'll be so much nicer for me to have an HGTV real estate realtor and buyer relationship where we can go take a look at a couple houses, we can go to lunch and discuss what price we want to start offering or start negotiating. And I just have not had that in forever. I don't remember the last time I was able to do that. Hugo, hi Sasha, have you seen an increase in rents lately? Yes, sir. Rents are going up everywhere because of the inflation and everything. Everything is going up this year in 2022. I live in a townhouse. My HOA reached out to us. They are increasing HOA by $10 a month. I am helping one of my clients sell their townhouse right now. HOA has gone up $15 a month, and I'm currently helping a buyer buy a townhouse, and their HOA has gone up $10 a month. So everything is going up, including HOA fees for townhouses, even homeowner associations, because the price of materials and the price of labor for these companies, these landscapers, has gone up, which in turns is going to bring your things up. So same thing with rentals. Rentals have landscapers, they have handymen, and things like that that take care of the apartments. Property management prices going up, so rents have to go up for the owner to cover those costs. So yes, rents are definitely going up. There was actually a recent article that came out in the Charlotte area that said, I think there's like 3 counties in the Charlotte area where it's cheaper to buy a home than it is to rent. To be honest with you, I haven't looked at it because renting, buying is great if you're able to, but not everybody is able to, and renting doesn't have as much upfront cost as buying a home does. Buying a home, you need, 3.5% to 5% down payment. You need closing costs. You need to have extra money if you end up getting into like a bidding situation. Renting, all you need is, first month's rent, maybe last month's rent, and a deposit. And that's all you need. You don't need to worry about a down payment or anything like that. So, My Life 2022. Do you know where we can buy lots, just land in a new community which is still in development within Charlotte area and expect good return on investment within 2 years? How much does it cost for a half-acre lot with utilities? That's a good question. Not a lot of areas are offering that. A place where I see that is offering that is more towards the Waxhaw, Weddington, Wesley Chapel, Marvin area, where you can get bigger lots. But if you're looking for a half acre in those areas are known to be a lot more expensive to have bigger houses. Those lots for a half acre, they're going to be, $200,000 plus. And I will tell you, if you're in a community, there's a good chance that you can get plugged into city water and city sewer, which price varies. It could be as little as $5,000 to plug in. It could be as high as $10,000 to $15,000 to plug in. But if you do have a bigger lot and you might need septic and all that stuff, it's going to definitely cost you a lot more. Devin M, are there any small downtown areas within an hour of Charlotte where you find a loft style apartment similar to the ones linked below that is contingent in Monroe? So Devin, I don't have the link, but I can take a look at it and see. What's very interesting, I wanted to buy like a loft style apartment. Like I love like the exposed brick, like the steel beams. I love that loft style personally. And what I noticed is Charlotte does not have a lot of that. Charlotte doesn't have a lot of it, and I don't think a lot of surrounding small areas do, which is interesting that you found one in Monroe. Charlotte is extremely new, so what they're doing most of the time, with these like old factories and stuff that are usually getting converted into like this loft style, those things like that, they're tearing them down and building new buildings and things like that. So not a lot of time they're reconverting them to loft style places. There are a couple for buying. It's slim. If you're looking to rent, you might be able to find a lot more. But in general, from what I was looking at, there's not a lot of loft style apartments or condos in the Charlotte area compared to somewhere like Atlanta where there's like a crazy amount. Because Atlanta was one of the places I was considering moving to, and I wanted to buy a loft style apartment, and that was one of the things that drew me there. But I ended up in Charlotte, and then quickly realized, we don't have those kind of nice loft style with the exposed brick and beams like some other places do. But yeah, my friend, if you're not being able to find them, low inventory, and like I said, they're harder to come by than regular styles. My Life 2022, have you heard about Farmingham development in Harrisburg? No, I haven't. No, sorry, I haven't heard about that in Harrisburg. Like somebody mentioned earlier, they said, Harrisburg or Concord. Harrisburg is an awesome area. It's just expensive. A lot of more development is going on there. I'm guessing if it's a new construction in Harrisburg, they're going to be 500,000 plus, maybe even 600,000 plus. and that's going to be like at the starting end, basically. Okay, Clement said, hi, Sasha. Does the credit score matter when you want to buy a house, apartment? Which score is considered a good one when you want to buy? Thanks. So depending on the lender, meaning depending on the bank that gives you a pre-approval, probably on the low, you will most likely need a 640 or above as far as credit score goes. Now, I will tell you, right now, you'll be able to qualify for like an FHA loan with that type of credit score. Right now, it is tough to get houses with an FHA. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's tough because there's a lot of people with conventional loans, and then you also have your mix of investors that are buying townhouses and condos in the Charlotte area in all cash and at very good prices. But yeah, I mean, you'll need to be at a 640 plus, but then again, reach out to a lender and just get clarification on that. Some could do slightly a little bit less, but I would just shoot for a 640 plus and just try to get your credit score up as much as you possibly can. My Life 2022, a lot of questions today. I like it and I appreciate it. I live in Holcomb Woods community. Do you think house price will increase after Farmingham development? Most likely, like I said, I don't know too much about the Farmingham development. I'm definitely going to look it up after this video. But if the home prices are high and if they're higher than your current neighborhood, yes, it will do you good. You always want to live around areas that have higher priced homes, because just by default, with those homes being priced higher, it automatically slightly brings your home up in value. So yeah, if they will be priced high, which I'm assuming they will, new construction in Harrisburg, like I said, I'm willing to bet anything they're going to be $500, if not $600,000 plus, as far as a price point after after you go over your lot fees and all your upgrades and things like that. So hopefully they're a more expensive neighborhood. But generally, yeah, some new developments, things like that, depending on what they are, what the houses are, the price point, they will bring your values up too, which hopefully will be good news for you. Joseph, do you think Indian Trail is a good place to build a house? Does it still have a lot of room for growth? Joseph, yes, in my opinion. I always need to put that in there. I made a video, actually I made a couple of videos about Indian Trail, so make sure you go to my channel and check those videos out. Indian Trail is just getting started with its growth, and it's expanding. Like I mentioned in a lot of my other videos, Charlotte and some of the surrounding suburbs, they're starting to get more full, so they're having to expand outwards. So the nice thing about Indian Trail is it's just outside of Charlotte and just outside of Matthews. So Matthews, there's no more room to expand, so it's going into Indian Trail, which is why you're seeing a ton of developments going over there. And from Indian Trail, because Indian Trail is centrally located right on 74 and 485, your commuting is great. Whether you're going on the other side of Charlotte, you can hit 485, or you can cut right through and go through Center City Uptown, and all you have to do is hop on one road, which is 74, and just shoot it straight down. So once commuting gets a little bit better and things like that, which it already is, Indian Trail will grow, and I do think it is a good place for you to build a home and or buy a home with the current trends that are happening now. And if you didn't know this, the light rail that they are planning, they're actually planning to hopefully extend it. Initially, it was going to stop in the Matthews area, close past downtown, where they have this big sports complex. Right now, they're actually talking about extending it to Indian Trail. And if they happen to extend it to Indian Trail, that is going to be an even better bet for the Indian Trail area as far as home values and as far as growth goes, because people that might want to be commuting to Uptown and things like that, they can hop on the light rail and they don't even have to drive anymore. So that was a long answer, but I think you got a lot of good value from that answer. But my opinion, yes, I would move to Indian Trail in a heartbeat. Yes, take a look at Indian Trail. Guys, 17 people in here. I appreciate all the questions. Make sure you hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I really would appreciate it if you do. That would definitely help me out and, help kind of get the word out and help some other people that are hoping to relocate to the area. Clement, you are very welcome. Thanks for answering all my questions. You rock. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I hope it helps. And I really do appreciate all the questions you guys are asking. And obviously, if there's anything else that you might have, or you want to talk to me personally about anything, my contact information is below. Feel free to reach out. But I'm excited to see how this goes. It looks like there's a lot of people on for a Thursday, so honestly, I might have to switch these lives to be on the first Thursday of every month instead of Friday, the way I've been doing it. But my California people, my West Coast people aren't logged in because over there they're 3 hours behind. So it's 3:30 over there and it's 6:30 here. By the way, up north, Ohio, where I moved from, they're getting slammed with snow, and today was 60 degrees here. I don't know what the hell's happening with this weather. It's crazy. In Charlotte, we've actually gotten snow like almost 3 weeks in a row on the weekend. I would say a little bit of snow and a little bit of ice. And the amount of cars I saw on the side of the highway, on the side of the road that crashed into trees, that hit guardrails, is absolutely insane. We don't really have salt trucks, so that black ice will get you. But I don't know how we go from having snow almost 3 weeks in a row on the weekend to being 60 degrees today. And I think the rest of the week is going to be 50 and 60 plus, which is very interesting. Any other questions, guys, please hop on. Please hop on. I'm going to stay on here for like another, obviously, depending on the questions. If the questions stop coming in, I'm going to log off, but I'm hoping to stay on here for another 20 minutes or so. That way we can cut it for an hour. And then, like I said, I'm going to edit this video and cut out all the boring parts of me not answering questions. So it'll be a lot more condensed. And then, you can come back on here and reread and re-go through all the questions that some other people have asked. I love these comments because a lot of you can connect. And what's very interesting is a question that you might not think of asking, somebody else will ask it for you, and then you'll get the answer. So it's a nice way to bounce ideas off of each other. Thank you for the question. I do not know how to pronounce your name, so I will not say it. My name gets mispronounced every single day, so I will not do that to you. Do you think there will be more supplies and multi-offer situation will get better in 2022? As of right now, sir, I do not see the housing supply getting any higher. I think we eventually might see a jump. I think we will have more homes in the spring and summertime is when more people tend to list their homes, but there also happens to be more buyers. The multiple offer situations, I do not see them going away anytime soon. Before a house is even listed, when it's in like coming soon status, before it's even active, there's people driving around the house. I've spoken to other realtors that have listed houses that aren't yet currently on the market, but they will be coming up, and people just driving up to the house, walking around the house when the family's at home. It's kind of crazy, but no, I don't see I don't see multiple offer situations going anywhere. Unfortunately, not at the moment. If we have something drastic happen, like if interest rates jump up to an amount that is higher, 4.5%, something like that, 4.2, 4.3, that will take a lot of buyers out of the market because their mortgage rate, not their mortgage rate, but their monthly payment will go up a lot higher. But as of right now, I don't see it. Every buyer I've worked with so far, it's all like multiple offers. It's very rare that something is move-in ready that's not in a multiple offer situation. And believe me, I hate it too. I have to kiss a lot of ass to these listing agents for me to get the offer accepted, and I just need to. I'm just constantly plugging away and making sure that, we are at the top of mind when it comes to the offers. So, I would love to I would love to spend a nice weekend showing somebody, homes, and then Sunday night getting together, discussing different offers, discussing the pros and cons. But right now, it's just go, go, go as soon as a house gets on the market, and you really need to be on it when something comes up. Tanya, what is the likelihood of having a new build house without an HOA? Great question. Somebody else asked me this earlier, and it's honestly very unlikely. I would honestly say 90+%, 95% or so of new construction communities will have an HOA. Usually, if you have a bigger lot or something like that, or if you're out a little bit further, you might not. But 95% of the time you will have an HOA, unfortunately, unless you buy your own lot somewhere that's not in a community and then you end up building your own house. My life, which which country people buying more houses in Charlotte? Not sure if you mean which country or which county. Yeah, just clarify on that. Country, I would have no idea. County, obviously, Mecklenburg, which is the county that Charlotte is housed in, is going to be, the majority of it. But you have Union County, which is a place that people love, Waxhaw, Weddington, Wesley Chapel, Marvin, Indian Trail, Monroe. That's a big county. Cabarrus County, which is Concord and Harrisburg. Iredell County, which is going to be over there towards Mooresville and things like that. I honestly wouldn't put it by counties. If you're somebody that's looking in the Charlotte area, you can very easily end up in just a suburb around Charlotte. You can end up in Matthews, you can end up in Mint Hill, you can end up in Indian Trail, you can end up in Huntersville, Concord, Harrisburg, all those areas because they're just outside of kind of the Charlotte border and or Charlotte County, but they're still extremely close and you can be within 30 minutes of uptown Charlotte with no problem at all. So most of the time, people don't pay attention to counties. I would say people pay attention to zip codes. Yeah, I would say people pay attention to zip codes, if anything. And I recently made a video, like the best zip codes in Charlotte based off of data that came from Zillow, which has all the information about home buyers. So make sure to check that video out now or after we get done with this live. I think it'll help you out. And it goes over the five most popular zip codes that people are moving to in Charlotte, not surrounding, but in the Charlotte area. Barry G, do you think house prices will increase in Indian Trail between February and June? What about interest rates? Thanks. Barry, yes, house prices will increase between February and June. Reason being, springtime is coming up. So we're hoping to see more homes on the market, which is good. But the bad news is there is going to be more buyers to buy those homes. So yes, home prices, in my opinion, will 100% go up between now and June, just based off that stuff. More inventory, more buyers are going to hit the market as we head into the springtime and summertime, which is going to be more competition, which is going to mean house prices going up. So yes on that. And interest rates, honestly, I need to talk to some of my lenders. A lot of them are saying we're going to stay in that, anywhere from 3.5 to 3.8, 3.9 range. That's kind of their prediction, that we're going to stay within that range. There's so much craziness happening right now. If you're into the stock market, if you're into any of that stuff, you see it's very volatile right now. The Federal Reserve is having all types of meetings about interest rates. And we just don't know what they're going to do. Nobody saw them jumping the rates up 0.5%, this past month or so ago. So there's no telling what they can do. They can come out in the next 2 weeks and raise them up, or they can say, hey, we're going to lower them. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to stay steady. I don't think there's a chance in hell that they're going to lower their interest rates. They're going to stay steady and or they're going to go up. My Life 2022. Why do some builders charge extra money for houses facing east, north, and southwest? My friend, I've never heard of that. That's not like a cost that I've ever heard of with a builder. Yeah, it's honestly not. I've worked with a lot of people based off religious reasons. They want their house to be facing in a certain direction, but I personally have not heard of a builder, charging more because a house is facing a certain direction. The only times I see them charge more is obviously one thing for the lot size. Second thing is going to be corner lots. Corner lots tend to be a little bit more expensive. And then the third thing is if you have neighbors behind you. A lot of, they'll charge a lot more if there's no other houses behind you from your backyard and it's all wooded, or it's just a clear space, or if it's on like protected nature preserve or something like that. But I've never heard of them charging more based off what direction the house is facing. Tanya, I know most people ask about schools, but do you know which hospital systems are considered the best in the Charlotte area? So I used to be a paramedic, so I used to know a lot about the hospital systems and things like that because we worked under Carolina's healthcare system. Now it's been about 5 years since I was a paramedic and kind of in that space. I honestly won't be able to tell you. I still have a lot of my past coworkers that still work in EMS. I have friends that are nurses, nurse practitioners, some going to get their doctorate and things like that. They worked for Atrium Health and Novant Health. Honestly, no hospital's perfect. There's a bunch of political stuff going on and things like that, but they seem to like it. They've worked there for a long time. They'll continue to work there. But we have a ton. We have like Presbyterian, Maine. I forgot these hospitals where I used to take people to. But as of right now, I'll just tell you Atrium Health. I know people that work there. They like it there. They're not going anywhere. And Novant Health is another one that people are staying as well. So I kind of hope that helps you. I know it's not breaking down. If I was still in the hospital system, I would know more, unfortunately. I'm not, but I will say those two are the ones that I know people work at and that they like. Barry G, you're very welcome, my friend. I hope this helps. If there's anything I can do for you in the future or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. Shoot me an email, call me, or text me, whatever the case is, my friend. Sasha, do you have a video describing how the buying process works for dumb? Question mark. Just moved in the U.S. after a few months ago and starting to think buying something with my wife in the near future. Clement, unfortunately, I don't. I probably will make a video like that just with the buying process. It's just like it'll be a little bit of a lengthy video and I don't want to confuse people, if that makes sense, but I'll definitely look into it and hopefully I'll make one in the future. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, obviously, so if I do end up making that video, you'll be able to see it and things like that. But if there's a specific question you have about the home buying process, like I said, I'm available for you. Just shoot me an email if you want to, with any specific questions. But I'll definitely think about making something in the coming weeks or coming months. We'll see. What is the main reason for Charlotte house prices? The migration or the cost of building? So number one is the migration. A lot of people are moving to the Charlotte area because it offers a lot. Great weather, great opportunity, a lot of jobs, low cost of living when you compare it to other big cities. And this is a big one. And Charlotte didn't just start exploding recently. It's been growing tremendously over the last 10 to 15 years. And honestly, Charlotte has been underpriced for a very, very long time. 5-6 years ago, some of these houses, they were just underpriced like crazy. And the prices are just now starting to catch up with what they're actually worth. And honestly, prices are going to go up a lot more in the next 10 years. What I love about making these videos is being able to go back. So in 10 years, I'm going to be able to go back and look at these videos and look at these house prices, and you'll be able to see the change. So a lot of people think, houses are priced high now. Maybe some people think houses are overpriced. Wait till you see what happens in the next 10 years in the Charlotte area. I'm very excited for it. Some exciting things to come on my end, which I'll keep you guys posted on, but I'm very excited for it. So just stay tuned. Don't get Don't get caught up in all the hoopla and stuff like that. Make a decision based off of your personal needs. And trust me when I tell you, your equity will be here in the next coming years. Thank you guys so much for the questions. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I will catch you on the next video. Take care.